please be with me and give a big fat round of applause for James McKay.
Hello, everyone. Right, let's crack on. Dear Deirdre, I had awesome sex after drinks on my birthday, but it was with my best friend's boyfriend, and I've left a clue. I'm 20. A group of friends went into town with me to celebrate my 20th. My best pal couldn't make it as she had flu. We were having a great time and got into the shots before we all decided to call it a night. My friend's boyfriend suggested I go back to his flat for one final drink. As soon as we were in the door, he was coming on to me. The next thing, I know he was kissing and touching me. I didn't try to stop him. I think I was more excited than he was. We ended up having fantastic sex on the sofa. We then went up to his bedroom and kept going at it. He knew exactly what I liked. We both felt guilty when we woke up the next day and sobered up. We agreed to forget it ever happened. But I feel so bad about it, I want to tell my friend everything. To make everything worse, I had borrowed my sister's coat and left it at his flat. I can't think of any way of getting it back without her finding out. I am Deirdre. I am famous among bards who know my life as one of the three sorrows of storytelling. I am famous among druids who at my birth foretold my extreme beauty and that I would live to be the downfall of the kingdom. The king, though much urged, did not kill me, raised in the deep forest among women until he could marry me. I was at least not unhappy. One winter day, seeing a black raven against snow stained with red butchery and the black hair and white skin and red lips of a man, I took him for my lover fast and far over the sea. And they said to come back, and I knew they were lying, but we went back anyway. It was an ugly man with a sword that met us on the shore, and the turf spat blood, and I was alone and captured, weeping and mocked in the palace. And after a year they gave me to the ugly man for a wife, and I gave myself to him, a corpse, less than a corpse, my limbs mangled and spiked in a chariot wreck, my head opened on the rocks and half full of water, beakfuls of me carried off by white gulls that looked black against the sunset. I am Deirdre, a red trail across the white foam of the Black Sea. I am famous among bards who know my life as one of the three sorrows of storytelling. Thank you for your letter. You do not mention any dramatic and extravagant prophecies uttered over your cradle, which is a good sign, since my main advice is to have nothing at all to do with druids, and even less, if you possibly can, with bards. The garment of your sister is easily dealt with. You must have him send a servant carrying it to you, along with skillful false writing. You left it in the inn, it will say, and he hopes you have not been too cold without it. Take care, though, when discussing such a subterfuge, that you are not overheard by blackbirds gleaning red berries from outside a whitewashed cottage or anything like that, who will sing the secret to your sister's sleeping ear. Frankly, the fact that a man was capable of pleasing you to this extent after drinking with you tells me either you're not drinking hard enough or you have very low expectations. But then you have reached full womanhood, seemingly without even one husband or any children at all, so it may be you are in some way remarkably unattractive. In fact, I'm afraid you may be destined to end your days in misery, a plaything of malevolent fate and a constant reproach to womankind. So why not get ahead of the game and phone my eternal victim of cosmic ill fortune advice line? You'll be glad you did, or at least it can hardly make anything any worse, can it? I am Deirdre, dear to some who mostly die prematurely. Big hugs. Thank you very much for that. Okay, look, the main reason I chose that one is that I can now just do poems about drinking and lust, and they'll be kind of relevant. First of all, look, it's the new book. Look, I've had it in my pocket for minutes now and haven't taken it out and stroked it. It's really good having a book out. you begin to understand why literary people are sometimes such nasty people to each other. It's like the crack cocaine. Anyway, look, it's called Quiet Circus. It's from Vintage Poison Press. It should cost $6.99 unless you buy it for a £5 from me tonight. That's good, nice. Right, short poem. This is called Interim Conclusions and is, by the way, of the only good advice I've got to give anybody. It's probably just a matter of going one way and coming back another. Or it's mainly to do with rubbing up against the world at all the right speeds and all the right angles. But I suspect in the end it mostly comes down to the smell of one particular skin. Having done that one, here are two that aren't in the book because I've written them far too recently. One of them last week. Neither of them have titles. Always a bar scene, always some chanteuse. May not be cheap, but professional enough to look it. Opens with a rush like a hit of rough wine. Rhythm, exhaustion, everyday sainthood. It is a poor life that does not know tiredness, but the music is good, and the ministers of drunkenness are many-coloured and beguiling, and the drinking is easy. You keep on losing your voice, and you keep on finding it again, more battered and more useful every time, and you ask yourself, how many virginities are there still left to lose? And the answer is yes. And finally, one last thing before we get some beer. This very new. I wrote this on Tuesday. My fingers dream of you tonight. The palms of my hands, the balls of my thumbs, and it's like the first mariner seeing his first mermaid waist deep in the dancing waves and her tail wrapped tight around the points of his compass. And all at once he knows the price is worth playing the game for, but the bar is already higher than he ever thought. My fingers dream of you tonight, the folds of my ears, the skin of my nostrils, and it's like she hands him a leaflet, blurred and tearful with seawater, and he reads, free offer, good forever, no catch, no contract, no hidden charge, with every taste of another body, the taste of another world. Thank you very much. This hasn't been agony at all. Enjoy.